Hi, powerful leaders. This episode is from a live training that I do weekly inside my Facebook group called the Powerful Female Coaches and Leaders Community. Feel free to join us inside the group so I can get to know you better and I can answer any questions you might have. I just love the live interaction, answering to your question, listening to your stories. There is so much power in connecting in a deeper way, and I really hope you do take this invitation. The way I edit these episodes is really to give you all the value, but if you want to have the live interaction, ask any questions, and get them answered by me, please join us in the Powerful Female Coaches and Leaders community. I can't wait to see you there, and I hope you enjoyed this episode. Welcome to the Powerful Female Leaders Podcast. I'm your host, Anna Patricia Bourgeois, certified business coach. I am here to help you up-level, generate consistent wealth, increase your confidence, attract dream clients, and master your mindset so that you can fully own your power and achieve next-level results in your online business and beyond. Every week, a powerful conversation will take place with amazing guests, or I'll share from my experience to help inspire you to start and scale the business of your dreams while being powerfully you. The time has come to stop playing small, stop hiding, and stop waiting. Now is the perfect time for you to passionately pursue your heart's desire as the powerful leader you were born to be. Are you ready? Let's do this. Today's topic is all about the truth about starting something new. No matter if it's a new business, a new venture, a new project, a new podcast, you name it. When we start something new, we often find ourselves having issues that we believe has something to do with the project itself, but there's a deep underlying cause to it. And in this training, I'm going to share with you what that is. We're going to go deep in there, and I know you're going to love this. Have you ever found yourself starting a new business, for example, and having issues with your marketing, with selling yourself, with creating content, with showing up? Or have you ever tried starting a podcast and you had problems with the technology, you couldn't figure it out, you got overwhelmed, and you were just like, fuck this shit, this is too complicated, and you gave up? I'm here to tell you it has nothing to do about the project itself, but everything to do with your mindset. I'm going to dive deep into the 4 stages of resetting your mindset so that when you encounter a new project, anything you start that is new, that is uncomfortable, that is scary, that you're not sure how to work around it, how to use it properly, whatever that looks like, whatever that is in any extent, this is going to help you because it all starts in your mind. It all starts with how you perceive a challenge. So the first thing I want to dive deeper into so you can better understand the process to really transform your thought process. The first thing is clarity. I want you to start asking yourself, what do I want? And why is it important that I have it? So with the example of podcasting, I want to start my podcast because I want to reach more people. And then you're going to ask yourself, why is that important that you reach more people? To be seen as an authority. Why is that important to be seen as an authority? Because I want to give more value. And what is it important to give more value? Because if I give more value, I have more opportunities to actually make a change, make a difference, and get paid, right? And what is it important to get paid? Because you want freedom, right? You want the freedom to spend your time as you please, more time with your family, more time to travel, whatever that looks like, right? So clarity is so important because you're going to notice there's a deeper underlying reason beyond money for why you're doing what you're doing, right? But you have to know, what is it that I truly want? And what motivates me to achieve it? Because sometimes we also forget. We're so in the day-to-day, in the doing, in the showing up, in the working, that we forget entirely why we even started. Why is this important for me to do, right? So ask yourself this. And you can even do this, even if it's not anything new that you're doing. Even if you're just having some types of challenges right now, something is not working the way you want it to, go back to this clarity. It's going to remind you of a lot of things, which can only be positive in the long run. The second step is awareness, right? So now that we are clear on what we want and why we want it, now it's time to get super freaking honest with ourselves and dive deep into the story that we're making up about why this new project, this new business, this new podcast is not working out for us, right? So for example, with the podcast, again, the example is, oh, I'm not good with tech. I'm not good with technology. It's hard for me to figure it out. It's too hard. I cannot figure it out. So how are you sabotaging yourself, right? So now that you think tech is too hard for you, what's the sabotage? The sabotage is you're not trusting yourself to figure it out, so you procrastinate. Procrastination is one of the biggest self-sabotage things people do, right? And what's the belief that you have that is causing the sabotage, that is causing the procrastination? Because yes, we think it's a tech issue, but it's really a deeper underlying belief, right? Maybe the belief is, oh, people won't listen to me if it's not perfect. My podcast will end up in the podcast graveyard where it just goes and no one listens to it. And I did all of that for nothing and everything was in vain and all of that. And I sacrificed all this time for nothing. There's so many beliefs that can come up when we do this type of work, right? And I've heard it all. I've heard them all at this point. So here's what we have to do, right? We have to realize that those beliefs are only there to keep us safe, right? This is how the brain is wired. It is wired to keep us safe and small and complacent, right? So by not starting this podcast, you're not risking being humiliated. You're not risking being rejected. You're not risking no one listening to it and doing all the things, right? You're not risking not saying the right thing. So it's keeping you safe. Now, the next question to ask yourself is, are you actually ready to release it? Right? What's the new belief that we want to create? The new belief can be, I will figure it out. My podcast will be perfect just the way it is, and I'm just going to have fun with it, and the right people who resonate with it will love it. Because if we have this perspective, if we have this belief, then all the tech, all the things that are in our way, it all seems so small in comparison to why we're doing this. Remember the why, the clarity. So you see how everything is all intertwined, all related. Like, it's crazy. And when you see it that way, I'm telling you, it's going to change your life and your perspective on everything. The third step is action. So now that we have this new belief, right? It's time to take action that will, break the pattern of the old belief and solidify the new belief. Right? So what's one thing we can do today to start solidifying that new belief that the podcast will be perfect just the way it is? I'm going to do the thing. People will love it. It's going to be successful. I'm going to figure it out. I'm going to get the help. That could be the action. Getting the help. Signing up for that course. Reaching out to that coach. Whatever that is, take action towards that goal that you have with the right belief and watch your life change forever. Honestly, it sounds simple. It does. It do really sound simple,
but it's a lot of mental work. It's a lot of like reminding ourselves of the clarity, the awareness, and then comes the action. And this is something that I used to be guilty of. I used to take a lot of action first without really stopping for a second, asking myself why I'm doing this, right? Being aware of any limiting beliefs before I took the action. So there's an order to everything. I know we're desperate sometimes and we want to skip all the other order, get to the finish line as fast as possible, but this is not it, okay? Do this in the right order. The last step is trust, right? Now that we know what we want, why we want it, that we're aware of any limiting beliefs, that we're rewiring and taking action to solidify that new belief, how can you trust that the best possible outcome will happen for you? How can you surrender control? How can you lean into your faith? How can you lean into source even more? This is the woo-woo part of it, but I'm telling you, like, it's a huge part of it. Because if we don't have any trust, it's going to be very hard to take that action, right? The trust part honestly complements the action part. So how can you remind yourself of your power is in the small habits that you have every single day? Some people like to journal. Some people like to meditate. Some people like to pray. Some people like to take walks in nature. Whatever that looks like for you, solidify that new belief with action and trust. And I'm telling you, your life will be forever changed, right? Step away from the project. Take time to reflect. This is where the magic happens. And if you've been listening to me and you're like, hell yeah, now I want to start my podcast now that I have this new belief. Turns out I have my podcast mini course coming up very soon. So if you haven't started your podcast yet, or you did start it, but you haven't finished it, and it's in the podcast graveyard somewhere, and you want to revive it, relaunch it, like, this is the course for you, okay? So if you're ready to create your own movement, grow as a leader, as a coach, get paid, like, get into this program, okay? We start April 11th, and it's 4 weeks long. You're going to receive a mix of live trainings, recordings, templates, and checklists to fully support you in this journey. And you also get lifetime access to the course. It's going to be freaking amazing. The links to sign up are in the show notes. Go there right now, sign up. It's going to be freaking amazing. And I cannot wait to see you there in April. And if by any chance you listen to this as well and you're like, well, I want to take my business to the next level now that I know all of this, reach out to me on Instagram. Let's chat. Let's see which coaching container is the right for you. Honestly, I just want to see you win. This is why I do everything that I do, is to help support you. And I really hope that this episode really brought some value to you. Like, this is why I do anything that I do. And I believe in you so much, and I'll see you in the next episode.
Thank you so much for listening to this episode of the Powerful Female Leaders podcast. If you love this episode, make sure to spread the message, leave a review, and subscribe. I would forever be grateful for you. I also want to hear from you, and I want to know your feedback and your questions for future episodes. So don't be shy, say hi, and send me a message at Powerful Female Leaders Podcast on Instagram. Until then, I'll see you on the next episode.